You just started at a different point. You just trim out. You just started past the point where
not
you don't
even.
want it included.
Everything is exactly when
I've
we
listened
start
to the
recording.
cold opens, and I'm like, that's not where we started.
That is where we started. You know where?
That is not where we
You know what? We're starting this one right here. How about that?
Right here?
Yes,
in
right
the middle
here.
of this conversation?
Yes, in the middle of this conversation. No one's gonna know what I've been saying on stage. No one's gonna know we're in the hole. No one's gonna know that that our budget doesn't have enough money in it for a megaphone. We are going to say I just said all the things.
You're just gonna start it here, but with no
No
context, but no context.
Context, but no context.
Okay. And what does that do for our listeners? Like, what's the benefit for them?
Nothing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is
Roll
how
that
I
music.
treat them. Odie, you ready to clap?
Is that? Is this the cold open still?
Yes.
I can't tell.
Are you ready to
anymore.
clap?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. On time, every time. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop podcast. I am your raccoon Capitan Todo El Siempre, and your poppy, Kevin Miner, he, him. With me as always is.
If you're a raccoon, does that mean that, like, in the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, you're Raccoony and you're controlling me under a giant chef's hat?
100%.
Oh my God, I'm Odie Matthews, and I can't wait for this to happen.
I love this surrealist reality that we're constructing. Look, everybody needs escapism, right? We all got to
That's a good movie.
We all got to get out of the real world for a minute. You know?
I like the real world, Kevin. It's fun here.
We gotta like just escape for a second. That's why we play D&D. That's why we do little games, right? That's why we go and we like smoke a pen at the cast party and then chill out for a while and then just drive home listening to the entire Bodies album by Thornhill, right? Like that's why we do these things, right? And then we get up and go and get an oil change the next day and get our car inspected. But before we get our car inspected, we go and we talk to a sheriff, a state trooper actually, about getting your car inspected, and they reveal to you that their wife often doesn't get their car inspected on time, and then you have a long conversation about getting your car inspected on time, knowing full well yours is 4 months expired. So, yeah, that's what I did this morning.
It's like that bit on Dropout on Make Some Noise where it's like a political ad aimed at one person. He's like, why didn't you vote for me, Greg? This is Kevin's very specific routine. Sometimes we all just need an oil change, and we meet a sheriff's deputy. He tells us his wife doesn't get an oil change.
And then,
that happens to everybody.
And then sometimes the guy at Jiffy Lube is like, are you related to Joe Miner? And you have to go, no, I'm not. And then he proceeds to explain to you that he went on Ancestry.com and he's actually part Scandinavian. But you saw that he had a Mjolnir necklace on. So, like, I know, dude. So, like,
I can't relate to this. But my question was going to be... I kind of forgot my question. I'm so interested in who this guy's related to.
And then sometimes he tells you that there's a lot of people with the last name Miner, and then you have to explain that was actually a vocation and not necessarily always like a family name that was passed down. So like there's a lot of different Miners around, of course, because there were people who were doing that job. So like but like, and then he goes, do you want the fuel injector? And you say, fuck it, let's go big.
That's my nightmare. Also, like, to say there's a lot of Miners around, it's not like Smith or Johnson.
I compared it to Smith. I did.
It's not even close.
Said it's like a job.
It's not even, well, maybe like that, but there's way more Smiths than Miners.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the, I guess even if you were a Smith, they couldn't make the last name Smith's Apprentice, right? Like, it had to be Smith.
But you know what's funny, Kevin? There's a lot of Smiths who are also Miners.
That's true.
That's a good joke.
Odie,
put that on a T-shirt.
We're doing a Newstacular this week. Odie, wait, did you see anything this week? Have you watched anything? Have you consumed any form of entertainment?
Yeah, but nothing
I've
crazy.
had music. I've had my show that I'm in, and then I've had like 15 minutes of Darth Maul as I ate an ice cream sandwich last night and fell asleep.
I watched a documentary this week.
Beautiful.
Listened to some new music this week.
Beautiful.
And then watched my normal Daredevil and Boys episode to see if these seasons will do something besides just tread water.
And?
Daredevil is not treading water, but the boys feels. Here's my problem with the Boys.
Hit me.
For one, we found out. This is a little prelude to the news. We found out that Gen V got canceled after 2 seasons, and they had planned a 3rd season. We know that we're getting Vought Rising, which is a Soldier Boy prequel with his original team that will include Stormfront, who was killed off in like
season 3
or whatever. I think the start of season 3.
Yeah.
My problem with the Boys is when the show started, it felt like an actual, regular guys versus the superheroes. How do you, with not having superheroes, how do you take down Supes?
Yeah.
And that was interesting. They did it with like Translucent, and they figured out how to take out some other ones.
Yeah.
But the last couple seasons, it's just felt like everything that they're building to, however they end the show, my concern is the way that this season specifically is like kind of a reflection of America with like somebody who's an insane leader who's very like got a huge ego and only cares about having people follow him, and they don't really care about how they have to achieve it. If they kill Homelander, half of the country in the Boys universe is like brainwashed to think that Homelander is right. So it's like even at this point, if they stop Homelander, which is what they've been trying to do, it doesn't feel like it's going to fix or solve or end anything.
Yeah.
And I don't like that for an ending of a show that's built up. Like, we got to take down this guy and the movement, but it feels like that's not going to be the case.
We were talking about how we need an escape from reality, and it sounds like The Boys has like fallen into the trap of being a little too close to reality. Like
kind of
like what you're actually describing isn't necessarily the plot to The Boys, but it's like the contingency plan for white supremacist accelerationists. So it's like, all right, well. I thought I was going to get a break from that because I've been getting enough of that on my day-to-day. But instead, you've just given me more harsh reality. It's just slightly fictional now. Like, it's just, now it's my reality, but some of them have superpowers.
like, the whole MacGuffin this season is if they can get the original version of Compound V, Homelander will be immortal. And Homelander's now
weird.
well, I'm a god.
Oh.
And the last episode ended, this isn't really a spoiler, it ended with them being like, Homelander's a prophet of God. They're like trying to sell him as like a religion now. And I'm just like,
well, okay, so this is just like straight America parody,
Well, and that's the thing is like we're halfway through season 5 now, and it doesn't feel like we're ramping up to an ending.
No.
You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like
they're just leaning into like a theocratic theme and form of messaging where it's like, hey, a theocracy's bad, right? And you're like, yeah, and they're like, cool, we're gonna do 7 more episodes on that.
I can look out my window and see that. And like they were like, oh, there's going to be a lot of deaths this season. And I was like, cool. And if you care about The Boys and you haven't watched episode 1, this is a small spoiler, but like the only person that has died that has like actually like had any kind of character development or an arc was A-Train.
Wow.
That's the only main character that has died. Nobody else on the 7, nobody else from the like nobody else has died. So like
that's weird.
We're about to be on episode like 5 and only one person that's like notable has died, and it's like the one person that I was hoping wouldn't die.
We've talked about this before, and I feel like I have pretty good instincts. Like when a show starts to feel less authentic, starts to feel a little like lethargic, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, this is a good spot to stop. And I just stop.
Yeah.
There's still 3 episodes of the Game of Thrones season 8 that I haven't seen. And I don't think I ever will.
Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't need to. It turned out.
Yeah.
There wasn't, like, I had a couple friends tell me, like, the big plot points that happened, and then I just watched the final episode and was like, wow, that was not as great as it should have been. Yeah. Like, that's it.
I think that also for me has made The Boys and shows like The Boys. There's a lot of them that I'm like, I won't rewatch this.
Yeah.
Like The Boys, I will not rewatch any of the older seasons because like it doesn't really go anywhere. Like I feel like each season of The Boys goes somewhere and then immediately changes course.
Amazon had way more promise back when The Boys first started. Like when The Boys first started, which was like a decade ago at this point. It felt really novel and interesting and intriguing, and it felt like Amazon was like really putting money into like developing out great stories. And now it seems like they're doing something that's just like similar to Netflix, similar to Apple TV, right? Like because like Apple TV too, same thing. Like there were a couple of years where it's like, ooh, this is really avant-garde and novel and original, and then like over time, it seems like the return to the mean or the average type of portrayal of storyline or just show in general becomes trivial. Actually, Chuck Palahniuk spoke about this recently, and he was talking about how like that's the reason people binge watch. They need 100 hours of something to feel the same way that a really good short story used to make you feel in 20 minutes. You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's spot on because I feel like with a lot of shows, it's like they'll give you just a taste and then a lot of the episode will feel like filler to leave you wanting a lot more. So you come back and watch the next episode. It's like a rinse and repeat. And in the season finale, they'll give you just a little bit more than usual. Yeah. And then it's like, but you got to wait 2 years before you find out what happens.
Well, and it sucks to say, but you got to put in the work to find the thing that's of enough value that it's not just like another thing, like it's actually meaningful. Chuck Palahniuk even mentions when he's in along the lines of the same conversation piece, he talks about how like, it doesn't like things don't exhaust us the same way they used to. Like they don't make us as afraid. They don't make us as sad. They don't, like they're not as novel as they used to be. And so what's happening is like people need more. It's like addictive personality stuff. Like America just has an issue with addiction. And so instead of watching something of value that takes up a certain amount of time and having that actually affect you and like thinking about it and talking about it, you watch 5 things and you watch 10 episodes each, and now you're 50 hours into something that really didn't matter that much and didn't have that much of an impact on you.
Yeah 100%. Well, let's talk about future things that may or may not have an impact.
Let's do a Newstacular. We're going to do all news this week. We didn't see anything. I saw 10 minutes of Darth Maul. Maybe I'll make that part of my jam. Maul's Shadow Lord does look sick, by the way, because the 10 minutes I was like, this is really good. And then I fell asleep because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. Newstacular, baby. It's the Newstacular, biting harder than Dracula, backslapping Scott Bakula, back and forth with a spatula, low to the ground like Ash Ketchum with a ratata, or shocking like a dead celebrity abracadabra, drafting and tallying up the headlines with an abacus, and dragging out the best for this sideshow spectacular, audio format so you can motherfuck the macula, we focus on it all, from minima to maxima.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's start with we'll do the one regular piece of news, and then we'll talk about some trailers, and then we'll let you tell us how good and or bad the world is and how awesome the Pope may or may not be.
I brought great news this week, so let's build up to it.
I mean, I don't think you get to judge if the news is great. I think the listener gets to judge if the news
I'm
is
bringing nothing but good news. Don't kill the messenger.
Well,
don't
don't
do it.
Battlefield. Famous game.
Famous.
We know Call of Duty is getting a movie adaptation with the guy who wrote Yellowstone.
Yeah, are they going to do Black Ops? Is that what they're doing? Do we know that for sure now?
Most likely.
I feel like that's what they're doing, Call of Duty Black Ops, yeah. And it'll be a big, America hoorah.
It'll be Jack Ryan again.
Yep.
The
All
Amazon show that also fell off.
Go America! We got the Black Ops. Anyway.
Well, Christopher McQuarrie, who did the Mission Impossible movies, the last couple, and also helped with Tom Cruise's 2017 huge hit, The Mummy, is partnering with Michael B. Jordan for a Battlefield movie. Christopher McQuarrie and Michael B. Jordan producing, probably Christopher McQuarrie directing, with Michael B. Jordan potentially starring.
Sounds cooler than Call of Duty.
Well,
that's what I got.
Like Call of Duty, Battlefield has had some different. They've done different wars. They started with World War II.
Yeah.
They've done Vietnam.
Yeah.
They've done like the War on Terror in the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
They've done more futuristic. So they could go any way. I think if it's Michael B. Jordan starring, I feel like this will be a more modern War on Terror kind of plot line.
I hope so.
If I had to guess.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool to have Michael B. Jordan starring. I'll wait till more information comes out to form a more solid opinion on this.
Yeah, this is brand new, so I'm curious. I like Battlefield more than Call of Duty. I've always been a big Battlefield fan. So I like this.
Good. I'm glad you like this.
Speaking of things I like, let's talk about Clayface.
Speaking of,
because this was. To me, this was the best piece of news that we got this week. But we got a just over a minute teaser trailer for the Clayface.
I wouldn't
movie.
even call this a teaser. This to me is what a trailer should be. This is to me, and I don't know if this was labeled as a teaser trailer, but to me, a minute 20 with this amount of information is enough. Like,
it's good.
Yeah, no,
it's like the original Cloverfield trailer. Remember that one where like the Statue of Liberty head flies through New York?
This is sufficient. Don't show me anything else.
I don't think you need. Well,
you don't.
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit
Nope.
more. But
this is perfect.
I think this trailer definitely proves that. Which. For those that don't remember, James Gunn did horror.
Yeah.
He did Slither with Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
About what if like slugs from alien slugs took over bodies and made you explode.
Yep.
In a barn.
Yeah.
But
and then this turned Michael Rooker into a weird giant alien slug thing.
Yeah. And then Nathan Fillion was there.
And then you had to kill him at the end.
Yeah.
But everybody kills him like in the center of town.
It's great.
They blow him up.
It's pretty fun actually.
It is a
fun
good movie.
But yeah, so this is proper horror, and I think that this already to me looks so good, and this is how you do a body horror Clayface.
I agree.
Movie. I think that this hopefully will open the door for Marvel to do more R-rated characters that aren't just action and foul mouth like Deadpool. You know, like
yeah. You mean DC?
Well, I want this for both. Like, give me an R-rated Blade movie where it's like dark and gritty and like horror-esque with him fighting vampires. Like, I wouldn't mind changing it up.
Yes. Okay.
You know, like if we can do Clayface as a body horror movie, why can't we do like Constantine as like more of an exorcist possession R-rated horror movie? Like,
I would love
that.
And
I'm using horror as an example right now, but I think you could also do, and there's been some attempts to do like. I don't think every superhero movie needs to be in a beat 'em up, shoot 'em up action movie.
What are the superheroes that deserve
genres.
R-rated movies? Go ahead. Hit me.
Yeah.
I feel like you know some.
Oh yeah, Blade.
Okay.
Constantine.
Perfect. Yep.
I would say Deathstroke.
Okay.
I would like.
If we got a Deathstroke
I would say,
movie. Okay. Punisher.
Punisher for sure.
100% should be R. Yep.
I think you could also make a case to do an R-rated Moon Knight.
Now,
an R-rated Ghost
when you're
Rider.
saying R, you're specifically talking about like the action they're in, right? Like, I don't think when you say R, you're like all of these movies deserve 3 sex scenes. You know, like what you're really saying is you're like no, more gruesome action. There are grittier characters. They're known to swear, so like profanity, action, maybe drug use, right? That's the kind of R that you're talking about building out for these superheroes.
I'll use Ghost Rider as an example.
Okay.
Because obviously, like, Punisher and Deadpool are the obvious ones. But, like, Ghost Rider, there's scenes where he literally, like, spits fire on people's heads and stuff. Like,
or uses his chains from hell.
Yeah, to, like, rip people apart.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so you could, if you wanted to make it action, you could do an R-rated, get it a little bit more bloody, like, a little bit more gruesome if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think you could do movies with superheroes that aren't just action. Like,
do you think
Clayface?
Are you talking about getting stuff more in the vein of like Brightburn?
Yeah,
right?
like something a little different. Something maybe that's not just quips and action and fight scenes. You know, Clayface, I think, is going to be. This will kind of, depending on how Clayface goes, will depend on how much I actually like feel this way. But just seeing this trailer where I'm like, we know it's about a guy who wants to be an actor. His face is not like that. It melts. Yeah, and it can become other people.
This is the kind of movie I would have gotten an adult to take me to as a kid. I would have been like, I want to see that movie. It's rated R. And I was I was like a little lawyer as a kid. I was like, listen, I would like explain to the adults. I'd be like, it's only rated R because of this, this, and this, which are all things that I've seen already. So you should take me because I've already seen all of that anyway, and that's nothing new to me. So I'm going to see it regardless. Like,
yeah.
And then adults would be like, we'll take you, Kevin. Yes, you've made very good arguments. Thank you.
And there's a fine line from what I'm talking about and then doing like the Zack Snyder approach, right? Where you make it all gritty and grounded and you think it's edgy and it's really just...
And it turns out everyone's just like a sexual predator Nazi. All your bad guys are Nazis and sexual predators who kill animals. Like, yeah. Because that's Zack Snyder.
I think one of the very, very, very few things that I actually liked about Zack Snyder's trilogy, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, is that there's a Robin that was killed by the Joker.
Yes.
And I wish that would have been touched upon more. It's one of the only interesting things that I think they set up that they do absolutely jack shit with.
Well, that's one of the biggest failing points of the Snyder trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of mystery boxes.
Zack Snyder made a universe where it feels like all of the most important moments happened off screen. That's probably 100%. The biggest failing point of the Zack Snyder verse, right? Was that like everything that made people like want more of the story was a line. It wasn't something that we saw. You know, it was someone going, well, you know, fucking Joker killed Robin. And it's like, people are like, oh my God, what if we got that? And it's like, you're not going to. He had it happen off screen. He's just teasing you. No, well, that's what it was. Like, when all of the cool stuff happens off screen, like, that's happened with video games before, where, like, every cool piece in the video game is, like, lore. You know, like, it's like you're not actually watching it. You're, like, reading it. And a thing like that happened, but not all the time, but quite a bit with Destiny, where it was like, oh, all the cool stuff has already happened. Like, we're not getting cutscenes with it. We're just reading the story on it. Yeah, you know, man, I do hope we get more of that in the future. I do like that Clayface is bringing us in that direction. Penguin felt very similar to that. The series Penguin was amazing, phenomenally acted, phenomenally written, dark, gritty, interesting, but not edgy. You know what I mean? Like, dark, gritty, interesting doesn't have to be edgy.
No, and I think that the reason the Penguin works... And that's another good example is like doing like a mob one instead of just a straight up action. It's because the world that the Penguin's in feels like that is something that people would do.
Well, you
know what I mean?
They do a better job writing the story. And James Gunn, we've talked about this before. Hey, you know what? Let's do it. Hey, you did it. You did it. You're still doing it, James Gunn. You're doing all right. We're still applauding for you. He said, you know, he's going to greenlight things when they have a good story. And when someone comes with a good idea and how to execute it, he's going to greenlight it. And so far... so good.
I agree. You know what else is good, Kevin?
What?
Suing a big corporation because they make products that almost get you killed.
Tobacco?
Coyote versus Acme.
Coyote versus Kettle One vodka?
Yeah, versus Ryan Reynolds vodka.
Coyote versus the people who make microwaves that give you cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, real quick, for those that don't know, Coyote vs. Acme is a Warner Brothers movie starring Will Forte and John Cena about Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme Corporation because every gadget he's ever used to try to catch that pesky roadrunner usually results in him exploding.
Yes.
Now, you might be like, wow, that actually sounds like kind of a fun movie. And, oh, my God, you watch the trailer and it looks like a fun movie? Well, here's the thing.
It does look good.
Right? This movie was like a Batgirl movie that we will never see with Brendan Fraser as the villain Firefly.
Whoa.
Was shelved by Warner Brothers for tax write-off reasons.
Oh, yeah. David Zaslav, boo.
Boo,
Yeah.
you suck, bitch.
James Gunn, yay. David Zaslav, boo.
I meant to. So, Ketchup Entertainment.
Okay.
Which is a small new like distribution company studio, and I went to look up. There's another movie that they released.
Are they trying to do like an A24 thing? They're like, we're gonna get all the cool distribution, and then we're gonna build up, and then we're gonna sell out.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So they did the Day the Earth Blew Up, the Looney Tunes movie.
Oh yeah.
They did Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Okay.
They did the Ferrari movie that had Adam Driver in it. So they don't have a ton of movies that they've released theatrically.
I have seen
yet.
none of those movies.
I've seen all of those movies. Of course.
Great.
But
Love it.
The Day Earth Blew Up, I saw that last year in theaters, actually.
I know you did.
And The Crooked Man, I don't know. I thought it was fine. So they got the rights, and now they're distributing it. And a lot of people are like, everybody needs to go see this to prove to big companies like Universal that, hey, like, you shelving projects that people want to see is like, that's stupid. And I'm like, that's great. We should all go support Ketchup and see this. But Warner Brothers just got bought for like $1 trillion, so I don't think they care.
By Larry Ellison.
Stick it to them anyways, but like, they're going to fail upwards no matter what because they have a fucking crybaby billionaire now running them.
Yeah, 100%.
But which one am I talking about? That one. Whichever one you're thinking
Larry
of,
Ellison.
It's that one. Yeah, it's all of them.
It's Larry
they're all
Ellison.
Crybabies. It's David Ellison.
Whatever his name is. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's that one.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So yeah, this looks really fun. This it feels very Roger Rabbit, very Looney Tunes back in action, live action mixed with animation. Will Forte's a down on his luck lawyer. You've got John Cena as the evil corporation guy from Acme. I don't know. It looks good. It looks fun. I'm not a big Looney Tunes fan, but like, I don't know. This looks good. This looks interesting. I'm excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I got. It was a bunch of yups. No, I love Will Forte, and I love that John Cena is playing opposite Will Forte. I think that is going to be a really good duo. They've both been in some phenomenal comedies, and I think having them as like the two human focal points in essentially what is like the Looney Tunes version of a Muppet movie, I think that's phenomenal. Yeah. What else you got for me?
Last one I have for you, Kevin. Last trailer, last piece of news on my list.
Hit me.
Again, we're waiting for so many trailers that were released at Cinecon. We're gonna have a week, Kevin. We're gonna have so many trailers.
We're gonna have a trailer train, baby.
Yes, sir. But the last one, we all love video game movies, right? We just talked about Battlefield, Call of Duty. We got Zelda coming out. We got Elden Ring cast was announced, which we're not really gonna get into because we don't know who anybody's playing. But what about board game movies? Kevin, how do you feel about board game movies?
Are people being made tiny and then they have to play the board game?
What if we took the basic concept of a board game, like the word hungry and hippo, and then made a movie called Hungry Hungry Hippos about a killer hippo?
You know what? Okay, so just off that sentence, yeah, sure, I'm in. Yeah, we know this.
Did you watch the trailer for Hungry Hungry Hippo?
Off the trailer I saw, I was like, oh, this is like a spiritual successor to Anaconda. Or to like Lake Placid, the movie about the giant crocodile. I'm like, this is just it's the nature versus man survival horror. Don't go in I think they even say it like twice in the trailer. Don't go in the water. And it's like you know already everybody's going to get in that motherfucking water. Like it would be it would be even better if the title of the movie was "Don't Go in the Water," because like that should be the name of a horror movie. You insert scene of me just walking in, looking at the poster, going, "You know those motherfuckers are going in that water." Like, that's what this subgenre of horror is called. It's called "Don't Go in the Water."
Don't go in the water. It honestly is. There's even a moment where one of the characters is like, hippos don't eat humans, so if they're killing you for fun. And I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Or they're mad. Like, they're not killing you for fun. Or they're mad and they're an animal.
Or territorial.
Like, they're killing you for fun. How do you fucking know, dude? Like, the hippo, like, puts on, like, sunglasses and is like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like,
dude, I bet this is gonna be one of those things where, like, they accidentally either kill or, like, mess with a baby hippo, and this is all just going to be like an angry hippo mom going out to make sure nobody touches her baby.
Or has
like, I can see that
rabies or something. Like, just give it rabies and make it escape the
give it
zoo.
rabies.
I don't know.
Just
give it rabies. Just give it rabies.
Look, I put this on here because it wasn't even on. So I go to a specific website to look for new trailers.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on that. I was just on YouTube, and it popped up. YouTube was like, we think you'll like this.
Hungry?
And it was on my YouTube. It was on my Magnum Nopus YouTube algorithm, which I was like, this makes total fucking sense.
Hungry Hippos should be an anime. And it should be about
like the Teenage Mutant Ninja
4
Turtles.
colorful, hungry motherfucking hippos. Like, that's what. And why are they eating pearls, right? Like, there should be like an overarching meta theme of the extrapolation of the classic adage, like pearls before swine. That should be in that. And then it should be teaching us a deeper lesson about greed and sloth and just like everything. Like it should be a psychologically engaging family adventure about 4 colorful hippos. It didn't need to be a don't go in the water film.
I think you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna be great.
Well, all right then. Fuck me. Fuck me. You know what? I'll see myself out.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I think hippos in the water will eat you coming this year.
Coming sometime this year.
I don't know when it comes out this year.
All right. Tiny little non sequitur news piece for you. I have bad news, Odie.
Oh. Well, that's my last piece of news, so now you can bring us all down.
That's
Bum
great.
us out, Kevin.
Here's my it's just me that's going to be bummed out, actually. It's not anybody else. So Shogun, which I'm very excited for and have been waiting for
I've never heard of
all
that.
year.
What is Shogun about?
Well, it's about this man, and he's in Japan, and he's in a can, and then someone offers him Spam, and then a hand. And now, Shogun is an amazing show, and the sequel,
right.
you said at the beginning of this year, in our looking ahead to the year, you said Shogun is coming out this year. And so I have been operating with no other information or verification on my part that Shogun would be coming out this year, the year of our Lord 2026.
Told me.
And
that's what I said.
It turns out no. Like,
it already came out.
I looked it up, and it's not coming out till 2027. What you had was a piece of news about how it started filming. It did not get a release date. It just started filming season 2. Now, here's the thing. Shogun season 1 is a standalone thing, right? And normally I'm the type of person who's like, we don't need the sequel. I need the Shogun sequel, okay? And I needed it to come out this year, and it's not gonna. And I'm sad about it.
Well, Kevin, you know what that means?
What?
2027 is going to be one hell of a year for TV and movies.
Okay. We
have so much stuff. We have a Minecraft sequel. We have the Zelda movie. We've got Doomsday, Dune Part 3.
Okay.
And a lot of other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head.
And Shogun.
But I know there's a lot of stuff coming out in 2027 that I'm like, wow, this is going to be, because like last year I went to go see a movie.
Yes.
I saw movies like every weekend last year, and then this year I'm taking a little bit of a break. But 2027, we get the Superman sequel
and Shogun
next year. You keep saying that, but I don't understand what that means.
You haven't watched it yet, and that's why.
We get the Air Bud Legacy sequel.
This is like when I was telling you to watch Succession.
We're getting Sonic 4.
Oh my god.
We're getting a Godzilla X Kong Supernova.
Yep.
We're getting the Passion of the Christ sequel.
Yep.
We're getting Spaceballs 2.
Yep.
We're getting
Wait, there's a Passion of the Christ sequel.
We're getting a Star Wars
Wait,
Starfighter.
there's a Passion of the Christ sequel.
Yes, there's.
That's
we're getting
wild.
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh my god.
We're getting
Wait, who's
Shrek
doing
5.
that? Is it Angel Productions doing that? Or they're fucking they're overzealous. They're fucking wild.
Quiet Place Part 3. We're getting a Bluey movie, the TMNT animated sequel, Simpsons movie 2, Batman Part 2, Mummy 4,
Do you think
Gremlins
the Passion
3.
of the Christ sequel is going to have like flashbacks to like Jesus?
We have
turning
Hunt
water?
for Gollum. Wow, dude. Look at all those movies I just named, and that's not even all of them.
Maybe Mary Magdalene.
That is a statue. That is a statue.
You're plowing over my bit.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I got in the steamroller and went, no and, beep,
no
motherfucker.
And.
No and, this one's coming out.
Yeah, so 2027 looks great. Shogun, unfortunately, not coming out till 2027.
Alien Season 2.
I don't see the point in watching anything else this year. I can just wait for Shogun to come out.
Yeah, don't worry about Dune 3 or anything.
Don't worry
I'll talk about
finishing the new season of One Piece. Don't worry about ever watching From. Don't worry about like
From is good.
You
should watch Daredevil Season 2.
Like I said, mid-May, I will find some things to catch up on. The only thing I've actually watched, I've watched a few movies, like whatever movies we've seen this year, right? And then I've watched Free Run. Like that's all I've watched this year. Free Run's great. But like, so excited for 2027. I think this is going to be fine. This year will be fine. Like whatever. I'm looking forward to Doomsday and Dune especially, and actually season 2 of the Dune Sisterhood show. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called
Dune
right
Annihilation.
now. But it's about
Prophecy.
Prophecy. That show's really good. I'm looking forward to. You know what Dune Prophecy feels like to me? It feels like. Do you remember? There was a show called Battlestar Galactica, right?
Oh, I've heard of that.
So
show.
I've seen all of Battlestar Galactica. I'm in the camp that it actually is a absolutely phenomenal show, and people should watch it. It brings up a lot of questions about what it means to be human. There was a prequel that came out for Battlestar Galactica that was supposed to run like 3 seasons, right? It was called Caprica, and Caprica was fucking amazing. And then it season 1 ends. And they actually went back and retconned the preview, at the end of season 1 because season 2 got canceled. It was on Sci-Fi. This was in the era where Sci-Fi had banger shows and then would just cancel them because the budget outpaced whatever they were getting for viewership because Sci-Fi hadn't really entered the limelight like it has now. I totally think that should come back. Anyway, I'm getting big vibes, big Caprica vibes from Dune Prophecy, but it's cooler. Anyway,
yeah.
I did bring you some news, Odie. It's my turn for the Newstacular segment. My first bit of news is about the Pope. And it's more so I just want to share with people. So you and I were talking about this before the podcast. We've been getting a series of what I'm calling hipster popes. And these are popes who are coming along going, actually, you know what? I'm going to be pretty cool right now. I'm going to legalize gay marriage in the eyes of the church, period. End of statement. And somebody's like, but what about? And he's like, shut up. No. No, love your brother. Sometimes literally. And then there's other popes who are like, hey, maybe nobody should touch kids. And then everybody's like, oh, he said it. And then we get Pope Leo who comes along and is like, hey, the logic of algorithms tends to repeat what works, but art opens up what is possible. Not everything has to be immediate or predictable. Fucking cool Pope. And
yeah,
I'm not going to go out and just become a Catholic because the Pope's cool now, but
I already did.
Cool Pope. You became a Catholic
I thought we were both doing that.
No. Did you get confirmed?
I went to confession. I went to confession. Isn't that getting confirmed?
Just step 1. Don't worry. You got a long ways to go. You've not been indoctrinated yet.
I said 17 Hail Marys.
He also said, apart from also speaking out against the war in Iran and all the obvious things that just make him cool Pope, he also said, defend slowness when it serves a purpose, silence when it speaks, and difference when it's evocative. Cinema is much more than a screen. It is an intersection of desires, memories, and questions. Cool
100%.
Pope.
Cool
Cool Pope. I like him a lot. I like the things he's coming out and saying. I like the way he's going about it. Just cool Pope. Also from Chicago. Rep hard, bro.
Yeah, but Kevin, let me ask you this,
yes.
though. Why isn't the Pope America first?
Because he's in the Vatican, which is its own country. So,
but I don't understand.
Well,
as an American, why is the Pope not America
I don't know.
first?
My
name is maybe the Vice
Go
President.
ask JD Vance. Like, he seems to have ideas. Some.
I mean,
none are his own, but
thoughts.
he has some ideas.
They're thoughts.
Yeah, he's got thoughts, but yeah. Anyway,
thoughts.
But the Pope hates AI and hates algorithms, and so do I. And so I also wanted to bring this news. The band.
Oh wait, before you move off the Pope,
yeah,
though,
go ahead.
I have one tidbit that I did
about
want to add
Pope
for
Leo.
Yes, I love The Daily Show.
Yeah,
with Jon Stewart.
Okay.
And
or whoever's hosting.
Yeah, whoever's hosting. Honestly,
I
all
like
their
that they
hosts are super
rotate
funny.
hosts now. It's cool.
Me too. But Jordan Klepper was out doing
Klepper.
His Klepper. That's what I said. You play it back. I said
Yep.
that. Jordan Klepper. He was out doing his, on the streets kind of thing, and he was talking to some supporters of the Make America Great Again movement.
He's talking to MAGA folks. Yep.
I'm being politically correct.
Yeah,
when
whatever.
I talk about this, Kevin.
Yep.
He was talking to some MAGA people, and they were like, and not because we're talking about this, I just want to highlight like the roundabout logic that these people have.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It was, well, the Pope should stay out of politics, is what this lady said. And Jordan was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, the Pope should stay out of politics. And he was like, should politics stay out of religion? She was like, absolutely. He was like, what about the 10 Commandments? She was like, well, those need to be in every school. He was like, what about prayer? She's like, well, prayer should be in school. And he's like, yeah, so the Pope should stay out of politics. Politics should stay out of religion. But she goes, I know what I just said. I don't care. I know what I said. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Okay.
That's so. You know what? I'm just. Hi, listeners. Hi, listeners. If you've been here the whole time, I think you understand that we have our own political preferences here at the UnPop podcast, and those happen to be humanist and progressive. And the MAGA movement is an anti-intellectual, anti-humanist movement that often uses misinformation or a sense of distorted reality to commit to ideas that are not progressive, humanist, or intellectual in nature.
Yeah.
Cool.
And with that, your next piece of
we
news.
can move on to our next piece of news. So the Pope hates AI. Turns out so does Freddie Gibbs.
Good.
Good. As you might imagine, with AI slop literally invading every crevice of our lives, many a person who might label themselves a creative or an artiste have been using AI as a tool to fuel their creation or artistry. To which I say, that is about as fucking artistic as pressing down the little Play-Doh thing that turns the Play-Doh into spaghetti. That's all you've done. You've pressed the lever and you've made the Play-Doh spaghetti. You've actually done nothing. You didn't create the Play-Doh. You just pulled it out of the thing and you pressed the lever. That's not art, baby. Freddie Gibbs also thinks the same thing. I think, here's an interesting thing for me. The two cultural figures I seem to find myself gravitating towards and identifying the most with right now are Vic Mensa and Freddie Gibbs. Not only are these two comfortably masculine men who are just about loving everybody and being a good person, but like they have a good fitness routine and like share a lot of positivity with the world, and I'm like, this is who I want to be. I want to be this guy. I want to be Freddie Gibbs. I want to be Vic Mensa. I want to be eating from my grapefruit tree and explaining to people why Donald Trump is actually just a horrible person. Very casually, too. Like, he never, like, gets up and starts, like, yelling at anybody. He's just like, all right, let's talk about how horrible this guy is. You know, like, it's so endearing and engaging, and it's something that I identify with to my core. But Freddie Gibbs, specifically speaking out against AI, is a piece of news I want to touch on. It's fucking everywhere. Years ago on the Upstate Coffee Collective podcast that Matt Pfeiffer and I used to run, shout out, we interviewed an old friend of ours, Troy Harmon, who was on the ground floor of AI music development. And Matt and I at the time were very intrigued by this. My interest and my intrigue might have even read as enthusiasm, because when I'm interested in something, when I'm intrigued by it, the way in which I approach it, regardless of the opinion I then later form, is enthusiasm, right? I use that enthusiasm and of curiosity and intrigue and interest in order to delve into concepts and ideas and things that are happening in the world, and then form my opinions. And it's really funny because I think about this and I'm like, if somebody listened to that episode, they'd be like, well, you were interested. And it's like, yeah, but not in the way that other people are interested. Like, not in the, I was intrigued and interested, and I wanted to know more. And as I learned more about AI, right? Because like when the development of it starts, like you're not like, whoa, hold your horses. But more and more I see as time's going on, I'm going, hey, we should not be doing this, guys. Like, this actually is horrible for all of us. And the fact that creatives are using AI in order to like take off some of the workload of being a creative, I think that actually does make you, and I want to say this here, that does make you a lesser creative. You are putting in less effort into the craft within which you identify as a being.
Yeah. Well, I had somebody literally tell me the other day, like I think it was last week. I don't even remember what prompted it, but they were like, "Oh, yeah, I remember what it was." I briefly mentioned they had D&D came up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like, you know, I created this whole world, wrote this story, blah blah blah." And they were like, "Oh yeah, like I'm writing a book." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he was like, "Yeah, AI's helping me write it." And I was like, "Then you're not writing a book."
Fuck off.
Then you're not writing a book.
You're not writing a book. You're not writing a book at all. You're not actually putting in the effort. You're not using your brain. You're using the collective large language model that you're recognizing as being the brain for your fucking project. Get the fuck out of here. If someone handed me a book and said this book was written using AI, I would throw it on the ground. I would throw it on the fucking ground, man. I'd don't want that shit. However, AI has been used for some chaotic good recently, and I do want to highlight this. A young aspiring med student from India created a couple of fake accounts for women, recognizing that they could make money off of gentlemen who are simps or cucks. This potential med student, who will only be named as Sam, as written in an article by Wired, recognized that, and this is just the facts here, folks, that Democrats were good at recognizing when something was fake and stopped engaging with it, and that Republicans kept engaging and gave money. And he was posting some racist, xenophobic, America first, ethnocentric, homogenized milquetoast bullshit all the fuck over that page, and created a fake girl. I believe her name is Emily Hart, H-A-R-T, one of the most common like white girl mayonnaise names he could have come up with, and then just started posting memes with her like sitting in an ice bath and with a MAGA hat on, or drinking a Miller Lite, and then things like, I think if all the immigrants would be given citizenship for voting Republican, that Democrats would want them out of the country. And it's like, first off, Sam, a nod to you for recognizing your target audience and doing so well and making hundreds of $1,000s. And then quick follow-up, Sam, fucking stop, dude. Don't. You're not helping, and I see what you're doing and exploiting the system to get ahead. I totally get it. Please don't, though, because you're just gonna make it worse. Anyway, that's my news on AI. I think that's all I got.
I want to look up this Emily Hart.
Look up Indian student makes fake MAGA account. It just goes to show you, MAGA's never been a humanist movement at all, right? Like, what are the things they worship? The algorithm, a horrible human being who constantly hires and fires people on a whim, and the market. And the market is about as far away from humane as you can get, because a dollar is fucking indifferent, right? So, like, if money is your god, you're off kilter. And anyway, I think I've got one last bit in the tech space, and this is more so, it's kind of bad news, but also, like, I think people should be aware of this. The band Geese, which blew up in popularity last year, arguably, I would say arguably talented band. I'm not going to say that they're writing bad songs unless they're using AI, but they worked with a company called Chaotic Good Projects, which has, like, a very sketchy looking website. But what Chaotic Good Projects actually does, and they've spoken about this live on a podcast, is they create ecosystems of fake accounts on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms in order to drive artists into the recommendation algorithm, because the algorithm only functions off of clicks and engagement. Basically, we're reaching pinnacle your attention is the real commodity times, where companies are now being formed and developed, and brands are being formed and developed around the idea that making a fake ecosystem of interest is actually better for an artist than just being a good artist, right? Like, or rather will catapult you further than being authentic at this point. And I'm not here to say that that's wrong. I'm here to say that it feels horrible to watch. And it just fuels the dead internet theory. I don't think it's dead internet theory anymore, actually. I think the dead internet is here.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about before we recorded, like, certain movies that on Rotten Tomatoes, like, the audience score will be double or way higher than the critic score. And
it's
on
bots.
some cases, it's like, yeah. But then you look at the movie and you're like, well, I'm pretty sure there's no way the Melania documentary has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes when it has a 10% critic score. Like,
not when her family
no way.
has billions of dollars from grifting America that they can throw into making fake accounts with Chaotic Good Projects. And that's the thing. Like, that's not even a conspiracy theory. These are just real factors that come into play now when it comes to how things are valued and rated. And, like, it all kind of points back to the overly hindered capitalist ideology that people have, that, like, value and success seems to be most indicated by success in business or industry, right? Like, we don't talk about music anymore. We talk about the music industry. And I'm saying we as, like, a culture. I actually very much go, you know me, I go out of my fucking way to fight the algorithm. I go out of my way to find weird solo artists like Yeems and Emma Reina and, like, people that other people have never heard of, to the point where, like, my friends are proud when they found something before I did. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not even putting in that much work. And this goes back to, like, the AI thing, like, and it's kind of like, it's kind of sad but kind of funny. You actually, we're back to the times where, like, pirating is the way to go. Putting in the work to find things is the way to go. Digging into underground music scenes and interests is the way to go. You know, as billionaires continue to attempt to completely control all information, which they're getting dangerously close to doing, because of mostly, and I'm going to say that because of people who can't wrap their head around the fact that the current system of capitalism that we exist, the current system of increasingly global capitalism that we currently exist under is so fucking flawed to its core at this point, or rather is so infested to its core with negative practices that we have to find a way to disengage from entire parts of it in order to start healing whatever we would recognize as human interaction. It's only because of that this continues to be a problem that we're bringing up on the podcast, that we're talking about. And I think it's relevant to talk about it because this affects the things that you and I talk about on a weekly basis, Odie, the things that we love and care about the most are at least in this space and in the conversations that you and I love having, are movies, stories, books. We are as much consumers of art as we are creators of it. And so in loving those things, I think it's very important that we stay aware and we keep our audience aware of the negative factors that are playing in those spaces.
No, I completely agree. And I think that, I mean, honestly, you just kind of hit it all. I don't really have anything to add to that. I mean, because like that's the truth is,
I'm all proud of myself. I'm sitting up over here. I did it all, guys.
It always feels like everything is too little too late. Like Warner Brothers is going to get bought by Paramount unless the government steps in, and we know that's not going to happen because the Ellisons just threw the president a party. And it's like a bunch of actors and actresses signed a letter saying that they're against this merger, but then the shareholders approved it. And it's like the FCC is going to approve it. So then Paramount, who is infamously famously against, they're anti-woke everything. They're willing to let Brett Ratner come back and do Rush Hour 4, even though he's a sex criminal. And it's like, what is, and this has always been what I say, and I've probably said it on the podcast before, but I'll say it one more time. When the world gets to a point where everything is getting replaced by AI, and this thing can do your job better than you, and nobody can afford to go to the movies, and nobody can afford to do anything, what do these billionaires think is going to happen to their companies when nobody can afford to buy Amazon and when nobody can afford a streaming service? Because somebody did the math, and I think we talked about this not too long ago, but like, every streaming service ups their prices every year. And in order to have every streaming service, it's over $200. It's like, why don't we just have cable again?
It is cable again. I mean, it's just cable with extra steps now.
Exactly.
Well, and that's why I love that we have these conversations. I love that we have these moments on the podcast, because you and I are going to talk about this anyway. So I love that we have this, because then what ends up happening is I kind of like, as I'm like digesting this and you and I sounding these things back on each other, like I then dig back in and I go, okay, well, how do I fight this shit? Because I'm punk rock to a flaw, right? Like I'm going to be counterculture, and then sometimes I'll even err on the side of error if being countercultural means that I'm like fighting something that's overtly negative, even if it hinders me a little bit. I'll take the extra time to find the quality things, Like, I have no problem with that. And that's okay. It goes back to the thing that I liked that the Pope said. It's okay. Slowness can be okay. Not everything has to be immediate. And it seems like we're living in a world where people, based on the idea of immediate gratification, or at least, like the same world that brought us Reese's Oreos, sponsor of the podcast, is the same world that's bringing us this immediate gratification and race to the bottom therein, Yeah,
well,
dude.
That's the truth. It's like it feels like a race to the bottom,
right?
And it feels, and as somebody who has enjoyed the movie theater experience since I was 4 or 5 years old, the idea, to bring it back to like that side of the podcast, like the idea that all these billionaires and all these corporations can buy up other companies. And, we've already heard it from Netflix and other streamers where we're like, they're anti-movie theater. We want everything to be on streaming. We want you to watch it on your phone. We're going to tell you what's happening on screen every 5 minutes so you can also look at your other phone while you watch this on your phone, while you have something on your TV, and while something plays on your laptop, and while your brain oozes out of your ears because you're a little dum-dum who can't pay attention to something for more than 2 seconds, because this day and age, the internet has absolutely broken our attention span.
Yeah.
And a lot of people call it ADHD, which is definitely true, but I feel like that has now become almost a scapegoat to be like, well, I have ADHD, so like, I have squirrel brain, so I can't focus on all this stuff. So like, it's like, well, the reason you're as bad as you are with that stuff, and I'm guilty of this too, is because we have been conditioned that look at this thing, look at this thing, look at this thing, scroll faster, look over here, look at this thing, look at that, look at this is new, look another episode. It's
100%.
nonstop. There's new TV shows coming out every single week. There's new YouTube videos every week. There's YouTube Shorts, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's algorithms, there's streaming services, there's movies in theaters, there's stuff everywhere all the time. And it's no surprise that not just in America, but across the world, everyone has the attention span of a fucking 2-year-old.
Yeah,
I feel it myself.
Yeah. Turns out the information glut was not what was needed. Really, I think the best way that I can summarize a lot of what we're saying in kind of like a little tiny bit is somebody commented recently while being like interviewed on the news, and this was just like a tiny moment. I'm not going to name the guy. You can go find the clip if you want to find it. But ultimately, there was a gentleman who said, "We're going to have the first trillionaire before everyone in the world has clean drinking water." And that, to me, tells you everything you need to know about what capitalism has become. Not what it is at its core, not what it was when it was conceived, but what it has become. And the apologists for the broken systems and institutions of the current day and age are the people who I think in the future either should or will be regretting the positions that they held. And it's not about being on the right or wrong side of history. It's about recognizing what is good for generations to come. And to kind of, once again, tie a little bow on this, and maybe we'll just move into our jams after this, to tie a bow on this, a theme that I have run into in the past few years that seems to be a growing theme is that I can hear people who are becoming increasingly anti-intellectual lean into a notion that there is a form of spiritual warfare happening, which, first off, that's fucking made up, guys. Spiritual warfare is a made-up term. That's an intangible thing that you cannot measure or quantify. It is something that is completely there to craft a narrative that you are going to grab onto, and it's going to inform your world opinion based on whoever is giving you that narrative. Whoever's giving you that narrative has an end goal. They have a means to their ends, and they have ends and means that they have not clearly defined for you. It is the lowest form of tainting your worldview for someone else's gain. So you have these people who are adhering to that, and then at the same time saying, well, I'm just going to give up and let God handle this. First off, if you're at this point in history where genocides are happening, the world is on fire, finite resources are being used up, and we're absolutely destroying this beautiful rock that we live on, first, and you're saying, like, it's okay, though, because heaven. First off, shut the fuck up. Like, you're going, based on your own system, the selfish decision you've made to choose inaction in a world that is consistently getting worse, based on the most popular religion, your words, not mine, in the country, you will get to apparently some gates. And there's a guy there named Peter, and we all know him. He's a colloquial dude. And he's going to either let you in or not. And the inaction you have chosen, the general overarching, and I'm going to use a sin term here based on your religion, sloth that you have chosen, that will echo for generations past the one within which you exist, I think will disqualify you in a very, very surprisingly uncomfortable way. And I'm speaking very specifically to my friends in the faith community who seem to use faith to segregate people rather than to join, who are not cool Pope. The people who are not cool Pope, but are instead leaning into these narratives and choosing this form of religiously deluded faithful inaction. I think you are in for a horrible, horrible surprise when you are on your deathbed and realizing you are leaving a world that is in a worse condition for the people who have to survive after you.
There's a TV show called The Good Place.
Yes.
And in that show, it's revealed that it's been over 500.
Frozen yogurt is for hell.
Exactly. But it's also revealed that it's been over 500 years since anyone's gotten into the good place.
Yes.
Because you lose points for all kinds of reasons.
All kinds of reasons.
And that is kind of how I view what you're talking about, where it's, you have, and this is the only point I have on this.
Okay.
I'm not a religious person.
Yeah.
But if you are a religious person, I feel like doing exactly what you just said is completely against what your religion teaches.
100%.
And if you actually cared, if you actually wanted things to get better, you would use your religion to lift people up and spread the joy, the kindness, the forgiveness, the mercy, the gratitude that those books teach, instead of being like, yeah, put them in prison camps and shoot them in the fucking head because they don't believe what I believe.
Yeah.
Which is what I've heard.
I think
so.
Yeah, I think a really good thing I can add on to that, because I know that I have friends in the Christian community who listen to this podcast, and I know I have friends in atheist communities who listen to this podcast, and I know I have agnostic friends who listen to this podcast, and I love all of them, right? Regardless of whatever we agree or disagree on, I love all of them. But I think the thing that I would love to explain is, like, I talk about punk rock Jesus, and I talk about like faith and religion and spirituality and things like that. These are intangible things to me. And these are things that I'm comfortable being uncertain of, right? In the same way that I think a general sense of what agnosticism brings to the table in a positive light, it can make you comfortable with, right? So like the uncertainty that I will be comfortable holding on to, the cognitive dissonance that I am comfortable holding on to, allows me to go, hey, well, I was raised in a place and born in a place where understanding the greater concept of a oneness and wholeness and, categorical imperative insofar as it applies to the universe and existence as a whole, can be portrayed through the concepts laid out within the words and teachings of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, because that's what I was brought up with. Like, that to me, and I'm kind of like, I'm losing the sentence because I'm trying to like encapsulate all of this at once. But like, that to me, the idea that like I am Christian because I was raised in a Christian place, doesn't make it so that any other religion is necessarily incorrect to me. Right? Like, if someone came up and they were like, well, hey, I actually believe this, and like, here are my founding things, there's going to be things that we agree upon, there's going to be things we don't agree upon. However, we are all rooted in one reality, right? And we are all rooted in one place. And none of us know where the fuck we're going after this. And so to imply that going somewhere after this makes it okay to put any less emphasis on how to take care of and make the world a better place for, and hear me out, fucking everybody, is a disservice to the human species.
Well, Kevin, I'm Catholic now, so I'm gonna write a book.
Cool
in
Pope.
A church that's not Catholic.
Cool Pope. Cool
yeah.
Pope.
I'm gonna write a book about how I'm Catholic now, and then not even use a Catholic church on the cover.
That's great. I hope you do that.
That's my job.
I hope you quote Pulp Fiction and say that it was an actual religious text, like
I did do that,
like our Secretary of War so lovingly did.
Who do you think gave him that idea?
I think
he read my book.
You know what's really great. We'll move on to our jams after this. We really have entered the era of the emperor has no clothes when it comes to MAGA. Like, we're really seeing that what they stood for the entire time was upholding a narrative that made their white dominant ethnocentric worldview feel more comfortable to them and made them feel less like they were being the antagonist of an entire species.
Yeah.
All right. Because RFK didn't even do real math. And RFK
can't.
Jr. didn't even do real math the other day. Like, he literally, and then when corrected on it, doubled down on it the next day. And no one in MAGA is speaking up about this. Okay, final point. One of the biggest things I had to weather was listening to people for the entirety of 2024 say they want a businessman running the country. Okay, If you are a businessman, specifically running something, you are a CEO, you are expected to understand at least basic algebra and stats. The statistics that, or rather the percentages, even a smaller portion of this, the percentages that were referenced the other day and not corrected by MAGA, that were mathematically impossible, show me how committed they are to being stupid in the name of possibly seeming correct around one another within their stupid little silo. Anyway. Let's move on to our jams.
I'll let you have that
I
one.
could fucking just keep going. Because, like, that's where we're at. The Emperor has no clothes. Like, we've seen it. You're all idiots. Like, you're quoting Pulp Fiction and saying it's the Bible. You're not even using correct. You're saying there's 2 ways to calculate percentage? Like, anyway. Jams. Let's move on to jams. Let's move on to jams.
What you got? What you got this week, Kevin?
Well, I love these Reese's Oreos. I had one. I'm bringing them to my cast of American Idiot because I bring my cast's snacks. I've brought Goldfish to my cast for Bridges of Madison County. I'm bringing Oreos and Cheez-Its, as is agreed upon.
I think one of those casts got shortchanged because Goldfish compared to Oreos is it's kind of a big difference.
Listen,
Kevin.
I've only got so much money, buddy. And one is a much bigger ensemble. But no, I've made sure I brought some mugs, some coffee mugs that I told my cast of Bridges of Madison County they can keep because I have way too many coffee mugs. People keep giving them to me so I can do my morning coffee videos. So my jam, I love these Reese's Oreos. I've never had them before. This is brand new to me. They're
good.
Very cool. I endorse them wholly. I listened to the majority of the entire album Bodies by Thornhill. I know that I've talked about them. They opened up for Sleep Token last year while they were on tour.
Oh, yeah.
They are phenomenal. Listen to this album. If you're a fan of the Deftones, if you're a fan of early 2000s new metal, this is new metal with a twist. This is Deftones with a twist. This is Thornhill finding a new sound within the space that they were already exploring, and I really love it. I'm really here for it. It didn't really sink in for me completely until this year. And so even though that album came out last year, now it's become a real jam for me. On top of that, Wolf and Bear, a band signed to Blue Swan Records and Rise Records, just released a new single called Whiplash. I highly recommend listening to them. They're absolutely phenomenal. I've seen them on tour with Idola. I've seen them on tour with Dance Gavin Dance. Big endorsement. Love Wolf and Bear. Please go check them out. They're so cool. If you like emo, screamo, that vein of metalcore, just, yeah, phenomenal. And that, I think, is all I have. Oh, and I watched 10 minutes of Maul Shadow Lord, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. It's really, I actually probably will finish watching that episode right as we finish the podcast. Yeah. You know what we should have done? We should have come in and talked about 10 minutes of Maul Shadow Lord.
I would have watched 10 minutes of Maul.
I would have talked about it for an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
This week was a very big week, Kevin.
Hit me.
Might even say it might be one of the biggest weeks of the year.
Huge.
For me. I started with watching Noah Khan Out of Body, the documentary on Netflix, about his sudden rise to really worldwide fame through releasing Sixth Season in October of 2022, and how that kind of trajectory brought him to, doing the deluxe album, partnering with a bunch of other artists to do all the songs as duets, to, playing on Jimmy Kimmel, playing on SNL, doing the opening pitch at Fenway, to, kind of culminating with his sold-out show in Fenway, one of the biggest shows, an artist can really do, selling it out like that.
Yeah.
So, for one, phenomenal just documentary in general. Even if you're not a huge fan of his music, I think Noah's approach to mental health with the Busy Head Project and his upbringing and just kind of peeling back the layers of what it means to be creative when you feel like you've backed yourself into a corner. Because one of the big parts of the documentary is him being worried that he can only write good music when he's in a really dark or bad or sad place in his life, like he did when he was, he wrote Sixth Season during COVID when the world was in a shitty place. And so that's kind of a big emphasis is he's terrified that that's all he's ever gonna have.
Oh.
Is that album and not being able to like continue to do the success, but also be happy at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of stuff like with his dad, which really hits close to home for me, and it's just a really good documentary. And I bring all of that up because yesterday, on Friday, April 24th, we got the Great Divide album from Noah Kahan.
Yeah, a lot of people were really excited about this. I know a lot of big Noah Kahan fans.
And then he immediately released the deluxe version, which is The Great Divide, The Bugs Have All Gone Home.
Oh, okay.
In fucking incredible.
Oh, good.
Incredible album. I listened to it 8 times yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Already have my favorites. Already can tell that, like, one of the things that he's worried about in the documentary is and I think this is something that, you know, we talk about with a lot of artists. When they release an album, right? Any band, any artist that puts them on the map, that people are like, this is the album, right? Like, this is the album that everybody loves and everybody knows. That pressure of, well, my next album has to be just as good, if not better, right? Otherwise, this is all going to go away.
Yeah.
That fear of, what if the next thing I put out isn't as good? And I think that in terms of the success that Stick Season had, The Great Divide is exactly the follow-up album that I think we've all waited, you know, almost 4 years for. It's so good. I
like that it took Noah Kahan 4 years. I like that there was no apology for new material not coming out. It shows that Noah Kahan is creating art, not content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's not like a release schedule that he's following, and he's just kind of writing about the things that inspire him. I really respect Noah Kahan as an artist. I know plenty of people where like they're like, he's my favorite ever, which is, I think that's really cool. He's your favorite ever, right?
He's my second favorite ever.
Behind Bad Omens.
Behind Bad Omens.
I probably should listen to more Noah Kahan. I couldn't. You know, it's really funny. Like, there's a lot of artists that are in that same space where, like, I have a lot of friends who really, really love them, and I know, like, one of their songs. I don't think I know a single Noah Kahan song by heart at all. And that's me admitting a failing point of mine to you.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think Noah Kahan's music is for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it resonates. Okay, 2 things. One, I think that his Busy Head album that came out in 2019, for me personally, that's still my favorite album. That's still his best album.
Yeah.
I think it is far superior because it really dials in what, like, mental health is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's, like, the mission of his music. But I think a lot of people resonate, especially with Stick Season, because it's about, like, your hometown and leaving it and all the problems there. And as somebody who, I don't really have a hometown.
Yeah.
So when I listen to a lot of Noah Kahan music, it's kind of like, it's therapeutic in a way, because I'm like, man, I yearn for a place that doesn't exist, and I get to kind of secondhand experience that by listening to somebody sing about what I imagine it's like in a lot of ways. Because for anybody that, like, doesn't know, I moved around so much as a kid. I lived in 2 houses before I was 6. Then I lived in a motorhome for 3 years. Then I lived in my grandma's house for a year. Then I was back in a motorhome. And then 3 more houses before I was 18 and left.
Yeah.
Like, I never stayed in one place longer than, like, 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And so, like, you don't really get the chance to call a place home like that. So, and the one house I lived in the longest was torn down. So it's like, I have nowhere to go back to.
Interesting.
You know? Where my family spent a lot of their time, like, we're not there anymore. Like, they moved away. I'm not there. We don't have any connections there. Like, I don't have a hometown in my mind, you know?
Well, so I hope you adopt one day. How about that?
I don't want one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I hope you never find one that feels like home then, Odie.
Thank you. Thank you. No, like, and what I mean by that, and I could talk about this for hours, but, like, I don't want one because I have learned to let home be wherever I feel comfortable, which is why me, as in my adult life, I have moved around. I lived in a place and I was like, this feels great. And then when it stopped feeling great, I was like, okay, time to move on.
Would you say that wherever you may roam, where you lay your head is home?
Thank you, everybody, for weathering this absurd existence of the UnPop podcast.
It's very Metallica of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very James Hetfield of you.
If you have any comments, concerns, subpoenas, or would like us to podcast live at your funeral, you can email us at mysecretpoweris@gmail.com.
Okay.
Music by FrankAce. Art by moi. You do it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another
Kevin.
episode of the UnPop podcast. Thank you for weathering this absurd existence with us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about our mental health, subpoenas, or would like us to podcast live at your funeral, please make sure to email mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Art by FrankAce, music by moi. We will see you next week.
There's a reason I don't do the outro.
Yep. Oh, hi there. Are you still listening? This is Captain Kev here. I'm editing the podcast, and here's that intro and all the context you missed earlier. Just for you, because you stuck around.
Okay.
Odie. Odie.
What?
Odie.
No.
Odie, you know I love me some improv.
You love the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song.
You know, no, I don't, actually.
Okay.
Yep, that's going to be a no and.
And.
I'm going to create a character version of myself that doesn't love that song right now. And only for right now, but this is part of the scene. You know I love me some improv. And I've been politely requested in the most polite and forceful way ever to not improvise on stage during the rest of the run of Bridges of Madison County by one of my castmates this week, because Odie, I have been doing improv while holding a tableau, which is a hard thing to do, but it kind of turned into a game. And I'm going to explain it to you, and I want you to tell me how you would feel in this scenario, because I'm enjoying it. So, my cast member, absolutely phenomenal singer, actress, Iris, comes to me and goes, "Can you not be laughing during?" Because this is let me paint this. So it's the biggest scene of the show, right? You're gonna be my son. You're playing my son. You're Michael.
Okay.
I'm Bud Johnson. You're Michael.
Can we
it's
get
the biggest
a
scene of the
$500,000?
show. I've just pushed you, which is something that doesn't happen in our family, and then I've said that we're all gonna get ice cream, and then I tell you to shut up while we're in the car, right? So everything's real tense. This is the peak. This is like the most tension that the show has, and then we're going to get into the soda shop, and your sister, my daughter Carolyn, she turns and sees Robert Kincaid, a man who's been banging your mom for 4 days, but none of us know it, and she goes, "Mom, who is that man?" Because he's looking at her, and she's looking at him. And then she starts to have this, like, surreal monologue where she, like, surreal scene where she runs to him. Now, we're frozen, right? Because time's kind of weird here, right? Like, what's happening is playing out in her head, not for real, right? And next to you is me, facing away from the audience, but looking directly at your ear, and I start going, Michael, I feel the shift in the wind. I don't want to look at what's happening, but I sense a loss. However, Michael, I have just finished working on a recipe. It's a very important recipe that I think is going to change our lives, and I think it's going to be nationally known. It's my 57th rendition, comprised mostly of tomato paste, sodium, sugar, and cornstarch. And you have to hold a straight face while I'm monologuing about Heinz tomato ketchup in your ear.
Does your character have a background in anything?
Absolutely
that would
not.
So you're just like, let me explain how to make Heinz tomato ketchup.
I'm playing a game where I'm trying to make him laugh, and then I finally cracked myself, and this is the point where Iris asked me politely to not do this again, because she has to turn around and look at us, and she just sees, like, Michael and I just smirking and, like, shaking. Like, but the monologue I gave was, I go, Michael, I don't want to look at what's happening. I think your mother's leaving, but I want you to know who your mother really is and who I really am. You see, 30 years from now, a film called Mrs. Doubtfire is going to come out in which a very talented voice actor, and under the threat of losing his children, starts dressing as an older woman. Michael, I want to dress like that woman. I'm like, Michael, I want you to know my truth. This body is tea. And like...
My truth.
So we're frozen in this tableau every night. I've just been doing different monologues every night, completely improvising, like off the handle, like just building it as I go. And every night we're like frozen in this tableau, but like literally shaking with laughter and going off stage, like crying. And finally she goes, "Can you not do that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, not during the show." Like, definitely not. I'm not going to be doing that when we have an audience watching. But all Tech Week, that's all I did was just fake I was like, Michael, I have to tell you the longest story I've ever told anyone. But first, it begins with a complete rendition of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Mama just killed a man. Put a gun against his head. Like, and I just like
speaking the lyrics at him.
It was great. Every night I made him laugh. It was.
Yeah, I can imagine that your local theater doesn't want you to improv with people who don't improv.
My sound guy came back and he goes, "Why is your mic spiking during that scene?"
Why is your mic spiked during this podcast, Kevin?
Because I'm fucking loud. Because my spirit animal is a raccoon with a captain's hat and a megaphone. Like, that's
a megaphone.
Why. That's why.
You're adding to it now.
I've given myself a new yes.
Yeah.
That's how improv works. Yes and megaphone.
And then I'm behind you with kitchen shears cutting the wire on the megaphone.
What, megaphones don't have wires.
Some of them do. They have the little sticky thing. You have
that's an old megaphone.
Yes, that's what you're getting. You're getting an old one.
We get a 1940s.
You think the budget of this show's going to get you a new megaphone?
You're giving me an old megaphone so you can cut the megaphone.
Yes, exactly. Because we don't have the budget for a new one.
You're a jerk.
We don't have the budget for a new one, but we have the budget for an old one that I can then ruin.
It's always about the budget, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Our KPIs over year with our P&Ls, we got to be careful, okay?
I don't know. We're in the hole. Okay?
Yeah, exactly why we can't
Which
get you
is
new
where
megaphones.
we want to be. So we're succeeding.
I can get you a small, like, soccer traffic cone that you can speak through, like when you're a kid.
I would love that, actually.
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect.
I will yell through that.
That's what we're getting.
Yep, make these weird, hollow, resonant sounds. It always sounds different through that, right? You know, like you get you almost get like a goose elephant vibration going, you know? Like everything becomes like a it's almost like a Charlie Brown teacher noise. Yeah. Yeah, I want that actually.
Yeah, we'll get it for you. And then you can wear it as a hat over your captain's hat. Yeah.
That's great.
Perfect.
You know what else I want, Odie?
A white Christmas.
Oh.
We didn't get one
I
of
didn't
those
think
this
about
year.
it that way. You didn't.
No.
I did.
We did not.
I know. Be sad about it.
Yeah. I'm sad.
You know, Odie.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I should have had more energy behind that cold open.
Nah, roll the music.